Saitama vs. Genos. After passing the National Superhero Registry exam, both Saitama and Genos were officially ranked. Genos was placed in S-Class at rank 17, while Saitama landed in C-Class rank 388. Later, Genos requested a sparring match with his master, thanking him for agreeing and asking that he fight seriously. The purpose was simple, to measure his own power against Saitama's. Genos opened with a lunge, but missed. He followed up with a fast chain of punches, but Saitama dodged them all with ease. Genos tried his incineration cannon, but it didn't connect either. When he launched another barrage of attacks, he realized that he had only been chasing after Saitama's afterimage. In desperation, Genos fired a more powerful version of his incineration cannon, but Saitama easily dodged that once again. Suddenly, Saitama appeared behind him and casually tapped him on his shoulder. When Genos turned, Saitama poked his cheek and declared victory. Still unwilling to quit, Genos threw another punch, with Saitama avoiding it by leaping over him. At this point, Genos reminded his master that the match was supposed to be serious, and that it should continue until one of them could no longer fight. Saitama's legs then tensed, and in a flash, he stood directly in front of Genos. Genos reacted quickly with a kick, but Saitama instantly moved behind him. As Genos turned to counter, Saitama launched a punch straight towards him. The sheer speed and pressure of the blow froze Genos in place. The sensation of imminent death overwhelmed him, leaving him paralyzed. At the last possible moment, Saitama stopped his punch just before it made contact. The surrounding air blew violently simply from the force of his fist. He then lightly tapped Genos on the forehead and suggested they go eat udon. The punch was so powerful that it had carved a massive hole in the cliffside behind Genos, and even parted the clouds above, leaving a canyon-like scar in the landscape. Seeing this, Genos fully realized the impossible gap between his strength and Saitama's.
Just cutting in here really quick, I recently partnered up with GamerSupps. A lot of you might have already heard about GamerSupps before. They're like the go-to for energy supplements for gamers and people that enjoy anime and manga. Pretty big in the community. It's a product with 0 sugar, less than 1 carb, and less than 1 calorie, so it's keto friendly and diabetic safe. So this is pretty big because I used to drink a lot of energy drinks, and it's both healthier and cheaper than just straight up buying energy drinks from the gas station or something. And on top of that, I'm sure some of you may love this, they also have these like very aesthetic waifu cups that of course are anime themed because, you know, waifu. And what's really cool is if you click the link in my description and use my code AnimeX, you'll get 10% off your order, and on top of that, you'll be helping this channel greatly. I wouldn't be recommending this stuff to you guys if I didn't use it myself. I literally drink it every day. Like, I'm drinking it right now as I record this video. The flavors are good, the service is amazing, you get your stuff very quickly. So make sure to use the link in my description and use my code to save some money.
Serious punch on Boros. Boros, the leader of the Dark Matter Thieves, is at the center of one of the most iconic battles in the Alien Conquerors arc of One Punch Man. He was unlike most enemies Saitama had ever faced, as he was the only one to survive a punch from him and keep fighting. The encounter began right after Saitama defeated Giryugunshoop and forced his way into Boros' throne room. There, Boros introduced himself as the dominator of the universe. He revealed that he had attacked a city after following a prophecy. According to him, it was foretold that he would finally meet a worthy opponent on Earth. He explained that he had roamed across the universe, destroying planets and wiping out civilizations, driven by boredom and a desperate need to find someone who could actually challenge him. Saitama, disgusted by Boros' reckless destruction, wasted no time. He immediately threw a punch at Boros' chest. Normally, such a strike would have ended any other fight instantly, but Boros survived. Instead of killing him, the punch destroyed the special armor he wore to keep his own power restrained. With his armor shattered, Boros declared that Saitama had freed his true strength. Saitama, unimpressed, only responded with a casual okay. This marked the beginning of Boros' true transformation. As he entered his released form, he rushed at Saitama with incredible speed. Yet despite Boros' powers, Saitama effortlessly blocked his attacks. When the chance came, Saitama delivered a blow strong enough to tear off Boros' arm. The fight grew even more destructive as Boros began tossing Saitama around the throne room. Their clash eventually spilled out onto the surface of the massive spaceship. At this point, Boros admitted that out of all the beings he had fought throughout the universe, Saitama was the only one who had lasted this long. To demonstrate his strength further, Boros unleashed devastating waves of energy, damaging parts of his own ship, though Saitama remained completely unharmed. Even losing his arm was not a setback for Boros, as his body rapidly regenerated. He boasted about this ability, but Saitama bluntly interrupted, asking if he was done with his speech. This only fueled Boros to reveal his ultimate transformation, Meteoric Burst. With Meteoric Burst, Boros' speed and power reached their peak. He launched Saitama at blinding speed, attacking with relentless force. His movements were so fast that he tore through the ship itself, even killing members of his own crew in the process. In one of his strongest attacks, Boros kneed Saitama with such power that it sent him flying all the way to the moon. Even this devastating move failed to make a difference. Saitama was completely unharmed. In moments, he leapt back from the moon, crashing down on Boros' ship, with such force that the entire vessel started to fall apart. Boros attempted to press the attack once more, but this time Saitama countered with a direct punch to his chest, launching him across the battlefield and leaving him dazed. Following this, Saitama unleashed his consecutive normal punches, tearing Boros' body apart. For anyone else, this would have been the end, but Boros' regeneration allowed him to recover yet again. Now with no other options, Boros prepared his ultimate attack, collapsing Star Roaring Cannon. He declared that this final move would not only kill Saitama, but also destroy the entire planet. It was at this moment that Saitama finally decided to respond with his own ultimate move. He then unleashed his Serious Punch. The sheer power behind it completely overwhelmed Boros' massive energy blast, cancelling it out instantly. The pressure of Saitama's attack was so immense that it split the clouds across the globe, reaching thousands of miles away. The outcome was decisive. Boros' body was utterly destroyed by the Serious Punch, leaving him on the brink of death. As he lay dying, he admitted that he knew Saitama had been holding back throughout the entire battle. The prophecy that Boros had believed in, the one that drove him to Earth in search of a true opponent, had been nothing more than a lie. With this realization, Boros shared his final words before passing away. Meanwhile, the massive spaceship, damaged beyond repair, began to collapse and crash into the ruins of a city. Killer Move Serious Series, Serious Side Hops. Saitama is spending a normal day at his apartment, playing video games on the handheld device he had borrowed from King. While he's busy with that, Genos is doing chores around the apartment. Their quiet routine is interrupted when someone knocks on the door. Genos answers it and finds Speed of Sound Sonic, who has come looking for Saitama to fight, but instead, Genos leaves with him to fight elsewhere. Fubuki, the leader of the Blizzard group and top-ranked B-class hero, then shows up at Saitama's door. She wants to recruit him into her faction. Confident in her offer, she tries to persuade him, but Saitama refuses. Frustrated, Fubuki orders her subordinates, Eyelashes and Mountain Ape, to attack him. Saitama ends the fight instantly with a single punch, showing once again how easily he handles opponents. Not giving up though, Fubuki uses her psychic powers against him. Her attacks, however, have no effect. Saitama remains calm and criticizes her approach, pointing out that she relies too heavily on underlings instead of her own strength. He warns her that if she encounters someone stronger than her group, she will be left helpless. He tells her that forming factions is meaningless and advises her to never look down on other heroes. Despite his warning, Fubuki ignores him and prepares another attack. At that moment, Saitama notices the ongoing fight between Sonic and Genos behind her. Their clash causes an explosion, but when the dust clears, it becomes obvious that Saitama had shielded Fubuki. Shocked by this, Fubuki then learns something even stranger. Genos introduces himself as Saitama's disciple. For her, it's confusing to see an S-class hero willingly call a B-class hero his teacher. The fight between Genos and Sonic continues. Sonic mocks Genos for being too slow, but Genos responds that he hasn't even been trying. He speeds up and manages to slice off Sonic's ponytail. Sonic then pushes himself further, creating multiple after images with his incredible speed. Genos, determined to win, prepares a massive explosion to finish Sonic. Before he can release it though, Saitama steps in and knocks Genos down. He then scolds him, reminding him that his weapons exist for controlled combat, not reckless destruction that could destroy the apartment. With Genos stopped, Saitama finally accepts Sonic's challenge. Excited, Sonic uses an even more advanced version of his shadow clone technique. Saitama then responds casually with his own move, Killer Move Serious Series, Serious Side Hops. This simple yet overwhelming move allows him to pass right through Sonic's after images, leaving Sonic completely disoriented at the sight of countless Saitama after images. Sonic then crashes to the ground, beaten and bruised, without Saitama having to touch him at all, dealing all of the damage simply from the movement of all the after images. Elder Centipede Serious Punch. Phoenix Man, a member of the Monster Association, watched the battle between Garou and many other heroes carefully. He noticed that Bang, Bomb, and Genos had already defeated the monsters he had dispatched earlier. He understood the risk of returning to Orochi empty-handed. In order to stay in the Monster King's favor, he knew that Garou had to survive this confrontation with the heroes. Meanwhile, Garou cursed his luck. His former master Bang had already beaten him badly, and now his brother Bomb, another martial arts master who wielded the whirlwind iron-cutting fist, was also against him. To make matters worse, Genos stood ready to attack at any moment. Trapped and surrounded, Garou made a grim decision. He resolved that he would have to kill all three in order to escape. Just as Garou prepared to launch a counterattack, Phoenix Man swooped in from above. With the flap of his wings, he created powerful gusts that blew the heroes back. He grabbed Garou by the shoulders and carried him into the sky. Bang, Bomb, and Genos landed safely. Realizing that a monster had intervened to save Garou, Genos raised his arm, ready to fire at Phoenix Man and Garou, but Bang pleaded for him to stop. Phoenix Man ignored their resistance and summoned Elder Centipede, a massive dragon-level threat that erupted from the ground. The monster's colossal body shielded Phoenix Man and Garou from Genos' attack. The earth split open from the sheer size of the creature, nearly dragging the heroes into the abyss. Fortunately, Bang, Bomb, and Genos managed to save one another from falling. Garou, however, was furious. He wanted to fight his opponents himself, not have a monster interfere. Phoenix Man then silenced him, saying that Elder Centipede would handle things from here. He explained that Giro had stated that only 4 S-Class heroes could hope to defeat Elder Centipede: Tatsumaki, Metal Knight, King, and Blast, who had nearly destroyed the creature once before. Garou demanded to be released, but Phoenix Man told him to calm down and let Elder Centipede fight. Phoenix Man even commented that while Bang Bomb and Genos were clearly strong, the brothers' martial arts would be ineffective, and Genos lacked the destructive power needed to kill such a massive creature. Elder Centipede then lunges forward. Genos responded first, firing his incineration cannon at the creature's face and eyes. He then stepped back to allow Bang and Bomb to combine their power. The two martial artists unleashed a devastating technique: the whirlwind, water stream roaring, aura sky ripping fist. The combined attack struck Elder Centipede head on, knocking the huge monster backward. Not willing to stop, Bang and Bomb continued their assault, but Elder Centipede retaliated, hitting both the brothers hard and sending them flying. Genos quickly stepped in to stop them from being thrown even further. The monster's exoskeleton cracked under the attacks, but within seconds it regenerated, becoming even stronger. A new face grew on its body, signaling an increase in power despite their efforts. Realizing how dire the situation was, Genos knew that they could not win. If Elder Centipede reached the city, countless civilians would die. Accepting the danger, Genos prepared to take the monster on himself. The older heroes tried to stop him, telling him that he was still young and should not sacrifice his own life. Genos then remembers Dr. Kuseno's words, warning him not to push himself beyond his limits. Still, he refused to back down. He launched into the air and attacked. As he flew towards the monster head, Genos reminded him that Goketsu, Elder Centipede, and Garou were all part of the Monster Association. Battles like this were inevitable. He slashed at Elder Centipede's eyes with his arm blades, forcing the creature to recoil in pain, but the centipede countered, catching Genos' legs in its jaws. It bit down hard, then smashed him against its armored body. Genos broke free but was caught again by its antenna. In a brutal move, the centipede's pincer sliced Genos' body in half. Even then though, Genos fought on. His body reconnected and he forced himself into the monster's mouth, breaking one of its massive teeth. Inside, he was nearly dissolved by its acidic fluids, but he managed to activate his ultra-spiral incineration cannon. The blast tore through Elder Centipede from within, scorching its body. The creature spat Genos out, leaving him broke on the ground. But the monster regenerated once more. Its exoskeleton fused together, dispersing the heat and nullifying Genos' sacrifice. Elder Centipede loomed over Genos, preparing to crush him. But at the last second, Bang rushed in and pulled the young cyborg out of danger. Just as the heroes brace themselves for another attack, another figure appears: King. With a megaphone in his hand, King boldly called out to the massive monster. He claimed that he had brought Blast with him. Knowing the centipede's deep grudge against the hero, King taunted the monster, insulting it and provoking it into an attack. He remembered the plan that he had devised, to lure Elder Centipede to his position away from the city. The enraged monster charged towards King. At the crucial moment, King shouted for help, calling out Saitama's name. In perfect timing, Saitama appeared. Calmly stepping forward, he drew back his fist and prepared a serious punch. His strike connected squarely with Elder Centipede's face. The impact was absolute. The dragon-level monster was obliterated instantly, its body disintegrating into nothing. With a single blow, Saitama ended the battle that had pushed everyone else to their limits. Serious Squirt Gun. Saitama's attacks often look ridiculous simply because of how plain they are. Among these, one of his strangest attacks is a serious squirt gun. At first glance, it looks silly, like when someone squirts water with their hands in a swimming pool. But when Saitama used it, the force was enough to cancel out an attack that was drawing energy directly from the Earth's core. During that moment, he wasn't even using plain water, he was squirting lava. Still though, given Saitama's strength, the result likely would have been the same no matter what substance he used. The events leading to this began when Giro was defeated by Tatsumaki. Injured and desperate, Giro called for help from Orochi, the Monster King. It expected Orochi to answer immediately, believing it had full control over him after years of brainwashing during his transformation into a monster. However, Orochi did not respond. Unknown to Giro, Orochi had become focused on something else entirely: Saitama. After seeing how Saitama defeated Overgrown Rover, Orochi realized this was no ordinary intruder. Orochi then confronted Saitama. He opened the battle by sending 4 dragon heads to attack, but Saitama casually destroyed them with a few punches. This shocked Orochi, who was used to his enemies being completely overwhelmed by his power. Instead, Saitama scolded Orochi about making too much noise underground, complaining that he lived just above the area and was annoyed. At this point, Orochi began to feel an unusual pressure from Saitama's presence. Meanwhile, Overgrown Rover, who had earlier been knocked unconscious by Saitama, woke up. The massive creature spotted Saitama again but immediately fled in terror, something that left Orochi stunned. When Orochi asked if Saitama had done something to Rover, Saitama replied casually that he had only smacked the dog for misbehaving. Orochi then quickly pieced things together. His sharp perception led him to conclude that Saitama was the one responsible for defeating both Koketsu and Elder Centipede. He also realized that the stories about the so-called Ghost Town Horror were not about any mysterious monster, but about Saitama himself. For the first time, Orochi felt that he had found someone whose strength surpassed all expectations. Rather than being intimidated though, Orochi was excited. He removed his mask and led Saitama deeper underground towards a strange shrine. They arrived at an area filled with flowing lava. Orochi then revealed what he had discovered, a tablet showing a figure he believed was himself. The inscription spoke of a powerful being that could only be resurrected if a worthy sacrifice was offered. Orochi declared that Saitama would be that sacrifice, claiming it was all part of his destiny to become a god. Saitama, however, showed no interest in these grand claims. Instead, he focused more on the extreme heat of the surroundings, and even dipped himself into the lava as if he was trying to get comfortable. Orochi grows frustrated with Saitama's indifference and decides to unleash his full power. He then begins absorbing energy directly from the Earth's core. This caused massive earthquakes that shook the entire planet. Once he had gathered enough energy, Orochi launched his strongest technique, the Gaia Cannon, an enormous blast of destructive energy aimed straight at Saitama. Saitama then responds in his own unique way. He countered with the serious squirt gun, squirting lava from his hands. Despite looking ridiculous, this attack completely cancelled out Orochi's Gaia Cannon, leaving the Monster King stunned. Without giving Orochi any chance to recover, Saitama leapt forward and finished him with a single punch, blowing apart the strongest monster in the association with ease. After the fight, Saitama thanked Orochi in his own casual manner, saying he had enjoyed the quote bath provided by the lava before walking away. Orochi, barely alive, noticed the area collapsing around him. He crawled desperately towards the shrine in an attempt to protect it. Just as he reached the tablet, a mysterious image of God appeared on the wall. Serious punch on evil ocean water. After absorbing massive amounts of ocean water, evil natural water grew to a colossal size and transformed into evil ocean water. This new form assisted Sage Centipede in the battle against Garou. Together they overwhelmed him, with evil ocean water unleashing its devastating ocean Grand Cannon. At the same time, Saitama charged across the surface of the sea, heading straight for the gigantic water entity. The appearance of both Sage Centipede and evil ocean water struck fear into Sekingar, Needlestar, and Mizuki, who immediately tried to escape from these overwhelming threats. Garou, however, managed to hold his ground for some time. His powerful combo attacks damaged and even stunned Sage Centipede. From a distance, Garou noticed a helicopter carrying Terrio. Realizing this, he taunted Sage Centipede to pull his attention towards himself, but the Centipede quickly recognized that the helicopter was important to Garou. It warned him that if he made a move, evil ocean water would destroy the aircraft with its great oceanic cannon. Shocked, Garou found himself under heavy attacks. Sage Centipede struck him repeatedly with its Centipede Grand March, while evil ocean water fired a massive water cannon in support. King, who was nearby carrying an injured Tatsumaki, witnessed the destruction caused by evil ocean water. Garou, badly injured, was thrown through the air while Sage Centipede mocked his suffering. At that point, something approached the ocean at incredible speed, producing shockwaves across the water. It was Saitama. Closing the distance in seconds, he leapt towards evil ocean water and delivered a single serious punch. The impact instantly dispersed the massive monster, splitting the sea in half from the force of the blow. With evil ocean water destroyed, its enormous body of water began to collapse. During this, Saitama guided an aircraft carrier to land safely by surfing it across the sea. After ensuring its safe arrival near Fubuki and the new Blizzard group, Sage Centipede's massive carcass suddenly crashed onto the area. Immediately afterwards, Saitama jumped off to continue his search for Garou, who was left among the wreckage of the Monster Association. Serious Saitama. Nearly all of the heroes collapse under the overwhelming cosmic radiation pouring from Garou. Blast realizes that some humanity still lingers within Garou and wonders if he can be reasoned with, but Garou only laughs. Thrilled by the destruction of his divine power, he declares himself the ominous future of humanity, claiming the title of disaster-level god. With no other choice, Blast urges Bang to step aside. Bang refuses though, saying that Garou will have to kill him if he insists on continuing down this path. Meanwhile, Minako tries to escape with the others down, but the radiation overwhelms her as well. Using her last strength, she notices Terrio lying unconscious and alone. At that moment, a voice cuts through, telling Bang and Blast to move. Genos then charges in, pushing his failing body to strike Garou. Garou grabs him easily though, realizing that if Genos is Saitama's disciple, then Saitama must be far stronger. Blast reacts quickly, firing a dimension cannon, a miniature singularity, but Garou evades it. Blast follows up by opening portals, dragging Garou into one, and freeing Genos with a devastating gravity knuckle through another. He trapped Garou in a loop of portals, hitting him repeatedly. Blast then links the portals together, sealing Garou in a pocket dimension. However, Garou breaks free, emerging with a portal of his own. Having copied Blast's ability, he counters with nuclear fission gravity knuckle punches. The attack is so destructive that Blast scrambles to redirect all of them through portals in the sky, saving the planet from catastrophic damage. Seeing the danger, Blast focuses on evacuating everyone else. Garou, though impressed, brushes off Blast. He's confident that Saitama will return, and believes that copying Saitama fully will secure his victory. To draw him out, Garou impales Genos through the chest, ripping out his core. Black rain begins to fall, a result of Garou's nuclear level power. Just then, Saitama reappears, having returned after being blown away earlier. Only Blast remains standing. Saitama is shaken when he realizes he is too late to save Genos and the other heroes. Garou throws Genos' broken core at him, and Saitama catches it instantly, lamenting that he doubts that he's a true hero because he's always too late for things. Filled with rage, Saitama finally gets serious. He unleashes a serious punch at Garou. In response, Garou counters with his own serious punch, having copied Saitama's might with his mode Saitama. Blast, watching, fears their clash could destroy the Earth. Serious table flip and omnidirectional serious punch. When Blast opens a portal, he pulls both fighters into space to avoid devastating the Earth. The moment they leave the atmosphere, Saitama and Garou's fists collide, releasing an enormous wave of energy. Blast struggles to contain the shockwave and keep the portal stable. However, his interdimensional allies join him, shocked that anyone besides Blast himself could withstand Garou's divine power. Together, they manage to redirect the destructive force away from Earth, but the recoil of the attack throws both Saitama and Garou deep into space. The two land violently on Io, one of Jupiter's moons. Garou quickly recovers, but Saitama decides that this is his chance to fight without holding back. He thinks about placing Genos' core inside his suit for safety, but ultimately decides to keep it in his hand in case his suit gets destroyed. When Garou suggests returning to Earth, Saitama cuts him off, declaring that defeating him comes first. This sudden seriousness surprises Garou, who responds by opening a portal beneath Saitama. Saitama reacts instantly and almost comically, kicking the portal away and striking Garou with a punch that knocks him far off the moon. Garou uses another portal to return and positions another one behind Saitama for a counterattack. However, Saitama grabs the edge of the portal itself and flips it upside down, catching Garou off guard and landing another heavy punch that slams him back into Io's surface. Saitama then mocks Garou for relying on tricks and tells him to fight directly with his fists. Garou then surrounds Saitama with portals and launches a barrage of advanced techniques. He chains together Roaring Aura Sky-Ripping Fist, Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist, Exploding Heart Release Fist, and Whirlwind Iron Cutting Fist, finishing with Nuclear Fission Gravity Knuckle. The attack creates a massive explosion that rips apart much of Io. Despite the overwhelming assault though, Saitama emerges unharmed, though his suit is completely damaged. In response, Saitama unleashes Serious Table Flip. He digs his hand into Io's crust and hurls massive amounts of lunar rock into the air, tearing the moon apart completely. Garou is caught in the chaos, unable to keep steady. Seizing the moment, Saitama charges in and uses omnidirectional Serious Punch, creating afterimages that strike from every angle. Garou tries to escape through another portal, but Saitama follows him inside and lands a crushing blow, sending him flying across the broken surface. Garou regains his balance and shifts focus. Believing Saitama is holding back, he opens another portal towards the moon's atmosphere, but Saitama counters again with a Serious Punch. Realizing Saitama's strength is beyond measure, Garou activates Mode Saitama, claiming he can copy the same limitless power. The fight reaches its peak as both land punches on each other's faces at the same exact moment. Serious Sneeze. The Serious Sneeze is the most powerful move in Saitama's Serious series that does not include a punch. Its destructive force was shown during his battle against Garou on Jupiter's moon Io. With a simple sneeze, Saitama destroyed half of Jupiter's surface. The attack barely missed Garou, and if it had landed directly, the fight would have been over instantly. The fight on Io displayed how Saitama slowly but surely overwhelmed Garou. Garou noticed that Saitama was intentionally copying his moves, turning the battle into a mockery of Garou's attempt to fight on equal ground. Saitama openly mocked him, telling him to try imitating him when he was serious. Even when Garou used his strongest mode, Mode Saitama, he realized that Saitama was still getting stronger with every moment. At one point, Garou opened a gateway and launched a powerful punch, but Saitama casually caught his fist. As the fight dragged on, Saitama's clothes were torn apart, leaving him exposed to Io's freezing atmosphere. Then without warning, he unleashed a Serious Sneeze toward Garou. The attack missed, but its sheer force devastated Io's surface and extended outward, ripping straight through Jupiter's gaseous layers and exposing its core. The aftermath of the sneeze sent both Saitama and Garou flying off Io and into the emptiness of interplanetary space. While drifting, Garou noticed the sun and began searching for Earth, eventually finding it within teleportation range. He struck Saitama with a massive nuclear fission attack and quickly opened a portal to return to Earth, but to his shock, Saitama suddenly appeared behind him. Saitama praised Garou's portal ability, leaving Garou stunned. Saitama explained that the cold had given him a stomachache, and when Garou's explosion lit up the sky, it caused him to fart. This blast of gas pushed him right into the portal in time. Without hesitation, Saitama struck Garou with a punch that sent him back to Earth, landing them both at the same spot where the battle had originally begun. Realizing that his efforts were meaningless, Garou questioned why Saitama did not simply kill him. Saitama replied that unlike Garou's ever-changing personas or King's fame, he was not someone who pretended to be more than he was. Instead, he simply called himself a hero. He reminded Garou that he had promised Terrio to never kill him. However, Garou was horrified when he saw Terrio lying faceless on the ground, killed by the radiation from his own power. The sight broke Garou completely. Filled with grief, he ran away, blaming himself for Terrio's death. To him, this was the consequence of being the ominous future. Saitama, confused by Garou's sudden despair, wondering if something had changed within him since he fell from the sky. Garou admitted that if anything had changed him, it was because his spirit was weak. He claimed that calling himself absolute evil was laughable if Saitama could defeat him without even taking the fight seriously. He explained that if Saitama had killed him, his goal of becoming true evil might have been realized. But instead, the first person he wanted to protect after reshaping the world was now gone. Saitama quickly realizes the truth. Garou's deepest desire was always to protect Terrio. He asked Garou if Terrio was the one who gave him strength. Enraged, Garou accused Saitama of not understanding what it meant to rely on someone else. But at that moment, he noticed Saitama was still holding Genos' core. This made Garou realize that even beings of immense power like himself and Saitama still needed others to act as anchors for their actions. When Saitama asked what he planned to do next, Garou made a final request. He asked Saitama to copy his technique, confident that Saitama would be able to master and surpass it. Saitama agreed, and Garou began demonstrating. But before he could finish, a voice from above declared that Garou's power would now be taken away. His body started turning into salt, but he continued showing the technique, urging Saitama to pay close attention. Thanks to this, Saitama mastered Garou's time leap and began traveling back in time. Before fading completely, Garou told him to defeat the ominous future. Saitama returned to the moment when Garou had first confronted the heroes. Without hesitation, he landed a devastating punch that ended the fight instantly. The heroes present watched in awe as Garou realized his strength was vanishing. The Saitama from the future then merged with his past self, leaving one complete Saitama holding Genos' core as a reminder of everything that had happened. Serious whack-a-mole, serious table flip, and serious spin. In the webcomic, Genos reaches a breaking point in his long pursuit of revenge. For years, he had hunted the mad cyborg that destroyed his village and family. Convinced that Dr. Bufoy, also known as Metal Knight, is the one responsible, Genos finally loses it. He launches a full-scale assault against Bufoy's operation, unleashing a barrage of firepower fueled by rage. A large force of robots arrives on the scene. The organization, known for its mastery over advanced robotics and artificial intelligence, launches a massive invasion. Suddenly, the battlefield is flooded with machines. Hundreds of robots, ranging from disposable foot soldiers to towering war mechs, descend with a single goal: destroy resistance and possibly assimilate those they capture into cyberized forms. The chaos quickly escalates into all-out war. Suiko desperately tries to defend the Hero Association as it's overwhelmed by millions of invading robots. Just as the situation grows dire, Saitama arrives. True to his casual nature, he does not enter with dramatic flair. Instead, he quietly makes his way through the rubble, checking on allies and scanning the wreckage of fallen machines. But his presence does not go unnoticed. They know what he represents, and they believe the tide has finally turned. For the first time, he unleashes 4 serious moves in succession. He begins with the serious side hops, multiplying his movements and scattering machine bodies in every direction. He then follows up with a new technique, serious spins, whirling like a tornado and flinging the lightweight robots away. He rotates his body at extreme speed, generating shock waves powerful enough to slice through both enemies and the environment itself. The spinning motion creates a deadly vortex, shredding machines mid-air and reducing structures to dust. Panels show the destructive force radiating outward, annihilating everything in its vicinity. Within moments, what had seemed like an unstoppable invasion is nothing but debris. Next comes the return of the iconic serious table flip, used for only the second time in the entire series. He digs his fingers into the ground and unleashes the massive move. In an instant, a massive portion of terrain is torn free and flipped like an actual table. Buildings, streets, and robots are thrown skyward in a shocking display of raw strength. The battlefield turns upside down, disorienting the mechanical horde and scattering them into chaos. Yet even this did not fully wipe them out. Finally, he concludes with the serious whack-a-mole, smashing through the endless horde until dust, smoke, and broken machines fill the battlefield. With one hand, he strikes emerging robots as if he's playing a game, destroying dozens within seconds. Panels depict his effortless precision, each hit crushing another swarm of machines instantly. The army then falters, but adapts quickly, sending fresh waves to overwhelm him. As the chaos clears, Saitama casually walks forward. At his side, Rover bites onto his cape, tugging him towards something important. Following Rover, Saitama comes across Forte, who appears completely defeated and near death. Suiko, battered and exhausted, mistakes Saitama for another robot and launches a desperate attack towards him. He brushes it off without resistance and reassures her, telling the heroes that they have done enough and should leave the rest to him. It's then that Black S appears. He warns of a single incredibly strong being hidden among the swarm, someone disguising themselves within the army. He insists that this figure is absurdly powerful, strong enough to defeat him. Saitama responds calmly, promising to crush them all.